Next, we will study the properties of electrons. Since cathode rays are made up of electrons. So students, properties of electrons are: electrons having unit negative charge, that is the charge on the electron is minus 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Now we are discussing the properties of electron. Electron's charge is minus 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Coulomb is the unit of charge. Mass of an electron is 9.108 into 10 raised to power minus 31 kg. So it has a mass about 1 upon 1837th of hydrogen atom. Hydrogen atom has the mass 1 AMU. 1 AMU is the mass of the hydrogen atom, and the value of 1 AMU is about 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. In your book it is written that 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 24 gram. It means the same because we are dividing it with 1000, so the power would be 27 in case of the kg. So these are the properties of the electron. Electron is carrying a negative charge and electron is denoted by small e, subscript minus 1 and superscript 0, because mass of the electron is negligible as it is 1 upon 1837th of the mass of hydrogen. Hydrogen mass is very small and it is dividing by this number. So the mass of the electron is negligible, so we denote the electron as this one. Next, we shall discuss about the discovery of protons. Who discovered protons? E. Goldstein. Discovery of protons. He took the similar type of arrangement as J.J. Thomson took, but he replaced the cathode tube from that arrangement with a perforated cathode tube. Perforated means it contains holes or canals. Like he took similar type of arrangement. He connected it to the vacuum, and also pressure is taken very low and voltage is taken very high. And if there is a node, and he took here perforated cathode electrode, then he observed that some rays were emitting from this side as well from the opposite side. The rays which were emitted from anode are called anode rays. Since these rays are emitted and go to this side, so these rays are anode rays, and they have made up of protons. They are made up of protons. And the opposite rays are, you have already learnt, cathode rays, and are made up of electrons, right? So in this way he observed these rays also passing through this terminal by changing the cathode electrode with the perforated cathode electrode. Perforated means it contains holes or canals, so the rays can go from this side and also from this side. So now you can easily learn about the properties of anode rays. And now we shall discuss about the properties of protons. Properties of protons. Students, protons are made of unit positive charge, so they carry unit positive charge. Proton has a charge 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. It is the same as we take the charge of electron, but it is in the plus sign. In the case of electron, you have to put the minus sign here. And the mass of the proton is equal to 1 AMU, that is 1.672 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. Okay, and proton is denoted as capital P, and its charge is plus 1, so writing here plus 1, and it has the mass 1 AMU, so writing mass on the superscript. So here in this way we denote the protons. Next we shall discuss about some models. J.J. Thomson, according to his observation, gave a model and called it as plum pudding model. Plum pudding model. According to him, he considered the atom as a sphere, and he supposed that the electrons are embedded in the sphere uniformly. You can also take the example of watermelon. In the case of watermelon, the red portion is positively charged, like here this portion is positively charged, and the electrons are embedded like the black seeds in the watermelon. So as a whole, electrons and protons combine, and atom as a whole is neutral. This gives the idea that atom as a whole is neutral, that is, atom has positive and negative charge, so they combine with each other, and the atom as a whole is neutral. So this is Thomas plum pudding model of an atom. Next we shall discuss about the discovery of nucleus. Nucleus was discovered by Ernst Rutherford. Ernst Rutherford in 1911 took an experiment, alpha rays scattering experiment. Alpha rays scattering experiment. In his experiment, he took a gold foil and passed the alpha rays through the gold foil. What are alpha rays? Alpha rays are simply helium atom with plus 2 positive charge. Plus 2 positive charge means we have removed 2 electrons of the helium atom. So helium atom now has 2 protons and 2 electrons are eliminated, 2 protons and 2 neutrons. So its weight is 4, that's why it has 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Atomic mass minus number of protons, it gives us a number of neutrons. So 2 neutrons, 2 protons. This is the alpha particle. When he passed a beam of alpha particles through the gold foil, he observed something that we will study here in this experiment. First of all, he placed a screen . He placed a screen and here he placed some gold foil. Suppose this is a very thin gold foil and here it is a source of alpha particles. So when the alpha particles pass through the gold foil, he observed that most of the particles pass through the gold foil and hit the screen. Most of the particles hit the screen and some of the particles deflected back, and very few of the particles rebounced their path. Means alpha particles are coming from here and after striking the gold foil, they again rebounce their path. So on behalf of this experiment, he gave a model of the atom that we called as Rutherford's atomic model. According to his observations, if this is the positive nucleus, and he observed that if alpha rays are coming from here, most of the alpha rays passed through the atom. Some of the alpha rays deflected from their path and very few bounced back. Some deflected from small angles, some deflected from very large angles. But very few alpha rays bounced back, retraced their path. And from these observations, he gave the model of atom. So according to him, the atom, most of the space in the atom is empty. Like most of the alpha rays pass directly through the atom, so most of the space in the atom is empty. And electrons revolve around the orbits. According to him, electrons revolve around the orbits. So atom as a whole is neutral because it has positive and as well as negative charge. The size of the nucleus is very small according to the Rutherford's atomic model, because as most of the alpha rays pass directly through the atom, indicating that most of the space in the atom is empty. Suppose if you consider the cricket stadium as the atom, then the size of the nucleus would be very small. The size of the nucleus would be comparable to the ball of the cricket, right? So size of the nucleus is very small according to the Rutherford's model, and electron as a whole is neutral. So these were the main points of the Rutherford's atomic model. So the drawback of Rutherford's atomic model is he compared his atomic model with planets and the solar system. He considered the solar system as the atom, and the planets revolve in the similar manner around the sun as the electrons revolve around the nucleus. So as the electrons revolve around the nucleus, in the same manner he considered that the planets revolve around the sun. So here we see that this is the major drawback of the Rutherford's atomic model, as if anything is revolving around in an orbit, then it continuously radiates energy, means it loses energy. If something is losing energy, then it should ultimately collapse. Means if here is the nucleus and electron is revolving in the orbit, and if the electron is continuously losing energy, it should ultimately collapse in the nucleus. But this doesn't happen, as the electrons and the atoms positive charge are there in the atom, and atom is not destructible. So this was the major drawback of Rutherford's atomic model. Now we shall discuss about the Bohr's atomic model. To overcome the limitations of Rutherford atomic model, Bohr proposed a model. According to Bohr's model, the center has the positive charge and is called nucleus, and electrons revolve in certain orbits. he called these orbits as shells. So electrons revolve in the orbits, and each orbit has a particular energy level, means each orbit has energy level, and electrons while revolving in the orbits neither loses energy nor gains energy. And whenever an electron has to go to the high level energy level, then it gains energy, and if an electron has to go to the lower energy level, then it loses energy and goes to the lower energy level. So he defined the energy levels, and he called these energy levels as K, L, M, N, and so on, or 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And the energy level K is least, and after K there are higher energy levels. So this was the Bohr's atomic model. He called the orbits as shells and defined the certain energy levels. Next we shall discuss about the discovery of neutrons. Who discovered neutrons? James Chadwick discovered neutrons. Students, the mass of the helium atom is 4. It is observed that the mass of the helium atom is 4, but its atomic number is 2, means it has 2 protons and 2 electrons. Therefore, its mass should be 2, because mass of the electron is negligible, but the mass of the atom must be considered as the mass of the proton, because till then neutrons were not discovered. So the mass of helium should be 2 AMU, but this is not the case. When observed, its mass was 4 atomic mass units. Right? Now, he took an experiment. He bombarded a light atom like beryllium with helium. Beryllium's atomic number is 4 and mass number of beryllium is 9, and helium's atomic number is 2 and mass number is 4. After bombarding light beryllium atom with helium, he considered obtain carbon atom having atomic number 6 and mass number 12, and one more particle. He called that particle as neutron. That is, neutron are denoted by small n. Subscript 0 means neutron has 0 charge, and superscript 1 means it has the mass 1. So now we shall discuss about the properties of neutron. Properties of neutron. Neutron is having the mass 0, so its mass is 0. Neutron is having the mass 1 AMU. Mass of the neutron is 1 AMU, or approximately is equal to 1.678 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. This is very close. Here is 6. This is very close to the mass of the proton. Right? The mass of the proton was, and the mass of the neutron is very close to the mass of the proton. We simply write it as 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 27 kg. And the charge on the neutron is 0. So these are the properties of neutron. Now we shall compare the Dalton atomic theory and modern atomic theory. Dalton atomic theory and modern atomic theory. You have already studied Dalton atomic theory. According to Dalton atomic theory, atoms were considered indivisible, but modern atomic theory says that atoms are divisible. As you have studied the subatomic particles, electron, proton, neutron, so these are the divisions of an atom. Next one is atom can neither be created nor be destroyed, but atoms can be created or destroyed by some very special reactions like nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. Nuclear fission means breakdown. So one atom breaks into many atoms by chain reactions, nuclear fission, and fusion means combining. So two or more atoms combines to form a more atom or new element. That reaction is nuclear fusion. Next point is the atoms of an element are alike in all respect, but they differ from the atoms of another elements. But the atoms of the same elements can differ, as hydrogen has 3 isotopes: protonium, deuterium and tritium. So the atom of protonium would be different from the atom of deuterium. So here the atoms can behave as different, but they are from the same element. So that's why this point is also incorrect and modern atomic theory is adopted. Then next point is atoms of an element combine in small whole numbers to form molecules, but this is not the case. In organic chemistry you will study different types of molecules which combine in even more than thousands to give new molecule. So they combine but not always combine in small whole numbers. Thank you students. We will continue the chapter in our next videos.